Simpsons thing, and he's really cool. Shatner has no idea what he's talking about. Shatner's really even cooler than he thinks. He's so cool he doesn't even know he's cool. I have no idea. But I'm talking to, I'm laughing because it's so much work, I don't know. Oh, my God. The Tremblay brothers out of Montreal do cartoons. And I'm talking to Christian and his brother, Tremblay, about doing a cartoon that I did the pilot in. I've done a cartoon, I've done a 1-minute version of I think would be a funny cartoon that we would do out of Montreal using French-Canadian talent and actors and things like that. And it could be great fun. And we're in the middle of talks about that. The cartoon would be called The Gavones, and it could be fun. That would really be cool. That would be cool. Yes, young lady. Your name is Melanie? Yeah. And what? You've been speaking to USM? United States Marines? What? Oh, Carleton University, KCU. I have no idea what those initials mean. You have to explain. Carleton is in Toronto. Ottawa. Ottawa University, Carleton, on Carleton Street. No. Okay, so you were speaking to them? You work for them? You're what? A volunteer for Carleton University. This is arduous. And what is it you're asking? You do have a question, but you wanted to identify yourself first as a knowledgeable person who goes to university, and that your question is worth more than his. What is it you want to ask? Quickly, because I'm dying here. Rewrites on did you hear shit my dad said? Yes. How do I feel about the rewrites? Okay, I'm going to tell you how I feel about the rewrites on shit my dad says. As I mentioned earlier, I work for David E. Kelly, as against plain David Kelly, for 5 years. I met him for breakfast one morning, and he described this role that he wanted to write called Denny Crane, and he would put it in this series called The Practice, which I had never really seen because I don't watch much television. And he wanted to try it for 6 shows, and with the idea of maybe doing something else with it. I said, I'll do 6 shows, because I didn't want to do another series, because series is a total commitment of time, and generally speaking, all the actors really involved in an hour show lose relationships all over the place. There's no time for a relationship. If the show should last any length of time, almost invariably the relationships you have, whether it's a marriage or friendship or anything, go by the side, lack the importance that it should have because the work is so hard. So, I didn't want to do a series. The question was a rewrite. So, David Kelly apparently wrote 22 episodes of The Practice one year, all 22 scripts, hours. Never done. Nobody ever writes 22 hours of scripts. He does. Then he had Ally McBeal series that you may know going the same time. He wrote all 22 of those. And in the same year, some time ago, he won 2 Emmys, one for drama, one for comedy. He's a genius. And I think perhaps for the first time in my life, I was associated with a genius. A genius. He would rewrite like this. He watched me in rushes. That's the daily stuff that we do, that he would see the next day, and he'd watch rushes. And this, I began to understand this later. He would and see me perform, and then he'd write to the character. So the character was evolving as he would rewrite and write and rewrite for me and everybody else, of course, but this crazy character. Well, they asked me to do this situation comedy. And I've never done a situation comedy, and it just seemed like a good idea. The people who are doing it, David Cohan and Max Munchnick, are the creators and producers and writers of Grace and Me. Grace and Will and Grace. Will and Grace. It was originally named Grace and Me when I was in heaven. Will and Grace. So that was a popular series, which I also never saw, but I'm told was really funny. So I thought, these are good guys. I could like to be associated with it, and I've never done situation comedy, and I'd like to try it. So they gave me a half-hour script. I thought it was very funny, and they said on the first day, and we read it, and they said, okay, don't. And I said, I'll commit these to. I mean, I had 30 pages of dialogue, and I had 3 days to learn it, and then we were going to be in front of the cameras. And without the words, the actor is helpless. I mean, it's like a mechanic without tools. If you don't have the words, you don't have anything. What are you going to say? You've got to know the word. You've got to be facile with the words. The words have to come tumbling out of your mouth so that people know you're not trying to memorize things. Right? So I said, I'll memorize these lines. He said, don't memorize the lines because we're going to rewrite them tomorrow. So I crept home wondering, oh my gosh, now I only have 2 days. I come back the next morning, almost a totally new script, totally rewritten. Okay, this is really funny. The other was funny, but this is funnier. Okay, so I learned, no, don't learn that. We're going to rewrite it tomorrow. And that's Friday, and then Monday I'm in front of, no, don't worry about it, we'll send you the script. And they rewrite it again. So on Monday we're in front of cameras, Tuesday is in front of an audience, we're in front of cameras, I'm valiantly trying to memorize all these long speeches and be funny, and funny is so delicate. Funny is a sneeze. Funny is if you cough, if you in the audience go, you just ruined my joke. See what it does? Go. You don't want to play. A laugh is a delicate, ephemeral, mystical, airy, cobwebby thing. Getting a laugh is is brain surgery. That's brain surgery. Brain surgery. Did you hear that? So that if you don't know the words, absolutely, intrinsically, you won't get a laugh. And if you don't get a laugh on a situation comedy, so you get on the floor, I got the words, I got it, Tuesday night in front of an audience. Now suddenly this energy, 400 people are now watching me and the rest of the cast perform, and we're doing our words as best we can, and then they, all right, cut. And suddenly I realized we're not going to do all the scenes together. We do one scene at a time and redo it again and again. So we do the scene, and then cut, okay, we're going to do the scene again. And in comes Max and David, and there's 14 writers. 14 heads are all gathered around in a little scrum, and out pops a joke, which they hand me. All right, here's new words. And just 400 people. And I've got to learn the joke. What are you doing? With a pink tie.
I don't mean to interrupt William Shatner, so I'm just following orders. Wrap this up, and then you're going to go up and sign autographs up on the floor. So when you're done the story. Sorry to interrupt. I apologize.
He didn't seem sorry to me at all. So they hand me a joke. and the jokes kept coming, and they were rewriting. Not only did they rewrite on a Wednesday morning and a Thursday morning and a Friday morning, they were rewriting in front of 400 people, throwing in new jokes, whatever they could think of, and every one of them was funny. One laugh after another. They were after the laughs and everything like that, and it was controlled chaos, and it was more fun than I've ever had. And I hope you have the same fun when you watch it. Everybody, thank you.